Turning, looking,
It is game 2 of a big weekend set between the Yankees and the Rays. After one of the worst losses of the season, the Yankees look to right the ship behind Clark Schmidt and the first Major League start at shortstop for Oswald Peraza. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Yankees Game Night. Tonight's game is brought to you by Manscaped, the world leader in male grooming products. Visit manscaped.com and use the code NYYRecaps at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. They've got everything from razors to body sprays to boxer shorts, and it's all great, and I vouch for them 100%. Visit manscaped.com, use the code NYYRecaps, 20% off and free shipping. How's it going, everybody? We said a few weeks ago that the Yankees were in what pilots would call a dead man's spiral. Well, the ground is getting bigger in the window. Welcome back, everybody. I don't blame you if you're feeling like you're experiencing deja vu, because it's the same story every day with this team. Days like today are where it gets tough to do my job. I'm not sure how I can recap this. I mean, how can I turn this chicken shit into chicken salad? It's not possible. The Yankees offense went 20 innings without scoring a run. And everybody not named Aaron Judge is essentially in a slump and has been for 2 months. It's pathetic. I see guys take the same approach every at-bat, no matter what. Aaron Hicks, Gleyber Torres, Giancarlo Stanton now, and Josh Donaldson all seem completely dysfunctional at the plate. All of their swings, all 4 of them, are not only completely unproductive, but they're aesthetically bad. These guys are breaking bats right and left or missing completely on most of their swings. It's hard to watch. It really is. The Yankees may have dodged a bullet with Andrew Benintendi. No broken bones. MRI is inconclusive. They're calling it inflammation. It's possible we see him again this season. That wasn't a guarantee. Whether he can come back at 100% remains unknown. Usually you don't hear a pop like he said he did with inflammation. So my guess is the Yankees medical staff is blowing the diagnosis again. That would not be something unusual for them. We'll see. Doug Yates says, chicken salad not on the menu. Appreciate that. Oh, man. First Major League start today for Oswald Peraza. I saw some total noob to baseball, say in the chat that he was overrated. After one game, he goes 0 for 3 in his first game and he's overrated. He also turned a really slick double play. So I just got to stop for a second and boo that guy. You know, I thought he looked good on defense. Obviously, IKF is still the starting shortstop according to Aaron Boone. So I'd imagine we're going to see IKF tomorrow. But you know, Oswald Peraza at least hit a hard line drive. It was caught. You know? Not much else you can say about him. Didn't really factor into the game too much. Yankees put 2 men on in the first inning but did not score. Surprise, surprise. Base running blunder by Giancarlo Stanton, who thought he was fast for a second. And look, when you're struggling to score runs, you can't make blunders on the bases. You can't go taking off. Giancarlo Stanton's one of the slowest guys in baseball, and he's coming back from an Achilles injury. Ball gets 3 feet away from the catcher, and he's trying to take second. Just stay there, big man. Clark Schmidt was actually really sharp in the first couple of innings, ran into trouble in the third. 2 runs on several hard-hit balls, including a comebacker that nailed him. He was fine. He stayed in the game. Aaron Hicks actually made a really nice catch on defense in the bottom of the fourth. Schmidt was done after 4 1/3. 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 strikeouts. He was okay. Slider was good. Control was good. Just ran into too many bats. Kluber, though, we knew this would happen when he went to the Rays, that he would just come back to kill the Yankees. And that's what he did. He retired 14 in a row at one point before the Yankees put 2 men on in the bottom of the 6th. But don't worry. They were both stranded. Hate to break precedent and get a base hit with runners in scoring position. Skip ahead to the top of the 9th. Yankees finally got on the board. Solo home run from Aaron Judge. Number 52 on the season. Nice job for him tying his career high. He's 9 away from Maris. But the Yankees drop a tough one, 2-1. Mr. XS Homarux says, paying the price for Cashman's awful offseason. He didn't have a lot of time to get things done, but he should have gotten more done. Jack Arnold says, where is Howe and Cashman? They should do a meeting. 100% agree on that one. I would love to see those guys get in front of a microphone. Maybe after Frankie Montas, the big trade deadline acquisition, gets his brains beat in tomorrow, then maybe we'll hear from Cashman, but probably not. You know, George Steinbrenner, he used to live in Tampa. And there's one thing that he hated, and that was losing to the Tampa Bay Rays. You know, he would hear it at the country clubs and things like that. And so, you know that he's rolling over in his grave. He's trying to pry his way out of that sarcophagus, baby. He wants to come back here and fire somebody. We need to... Who's the best psychic medium right now? Is it that lady from Long Island? Caputo? Is that her name? Let's get her on the phone, and let's see if we can dial into George Steinbrenner and find out, you know, who's getting the axe. Joe Higashi says, Hal is collecting the checks. Nothing like his older brother, Hank. Hank was a lot more like his dad. Hank was, he was all about winning. He's the one who gave A-Rod that ridiculous 10-year, $275 million contract. Ariadna says, these were games the team was winning a few months ago. What are these players on right now? It's more like, what were they on a few months ago when they were hitting? I don't know. Maybe they need to change their diet. I just watched this documentary about, it was a football team that all went vegan. And they, you know, all improved really quickly. It's probably too late for that. But I have a hard time picturing the whole... It's got to take a lot of salads to fill up Giancarlo Stanton. That's all I'm saying. That man would, you know, devour a rainforest. Pasha Noble says, I miss Billy Martin. I never got to see Billy Martin, but I've heard great things. Miguel Peralta says, Kluber was never this good when he was a Yankee. He did throw a no-hitter.
Just a bit outside.
Orlando Rodriguez says, can't wait for Boone's post-game interview. It should be interesting. I hope you're being facetious, because I've never found his post-game interviews to be either interesting or truthful. Pasha also wants to bring back Don Mattingly. He's probably going to be gone from the Marlins after this year. I think that's a match made in heaven, because he's got that mentality and he knows how to do it in New York, right? He understands what it takes to go out there and win the New York fans over. Jonathan Martinez says, Aaron Judge is carrying the team, and it's hard to watch with no one else contributing. 100%. Landon wants to hear from Hal, and I agree with you. I would love to hear from Hal.
I hardly agree.
Home World Hub Media says, if we in fact lose the division lead and get knocked out in the playoffs, heads should be rolling top to bottom in the organization. If they don't, it's 100% evidence that this isn't a serious organization. Comment of the night. Rob John thinks the Dodgers are going to get Judge. I wouldn't blame Judge for wanting to go to a better organization. This team is, this whole organization, whatever philosophy they're using. Remember, it's not a hitting competition. It's a run-scoring competition. Well, guess what, Aaron Boone? It's easier to score runs in the run-scoring competition with hits. 3 hits today for the Yankees. Are you kidding me? Trash. Sam Chrisley says 29 games left and the division is up for grabs. Who wants it? Obviously not the Yankees. Obviously not the Yankees. Frankie says Aaron effing Boone. I think you got the effing in the wrong spot. It's gone from Aaron effing Boone to effing Aaron Boone. Brandon Gibbons says, I hate how much the Yankees losing affects my mood. I'm right there with you. So, that's actually one of the benefits of doing this podcast. I'll give you guys just a little peek into my personal life. You know, when I would watch the games and I had no outlet, I would scream at the TV a lot. I would yell and fuss. I would eat my feelings. You know, if the Yankees lost a game like tonight, I would order a pizza right now and just pound it. But now that I'm doing the podcast, I find myself not getting that angry because I bottle it up and I save it, or I channel it through my notes and let it come out on the podcast or in a rant video once in a while. It's been easier on my furniture, on my coffee mugs and things like that. So, maybe find an outlet during the game. James G says, Boone doesn't have the stones to tell it like it is. Agree. Cruise Control says, Judge, 52. Why was he batting leadoff? Excellent question. I would never hit Aaron Boone leadoff. Anthony Segarra says, Mattingly for manager in 2023. Absolutely.
Hey.
Teresa says she's been a Boone supporter, but not anymore, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I see a lot of people jumping ship from the Aaron Boone train or Aaron Boone boat, whatever. Jumping ship from the train doesn't make a lot of sense. Even his most staunch defenders have to admit that he can't motivate this team. Can't motivate them. Apparently they had a closed door meeting, a couple weeks back. Didn't work. Old slamming the desk with your fist. Didn't work. Maybe it worked for a couple of days. Maybe try the other arm. Michael Burjo says Jeter as GM, Donnie as manager. I think Jeter would be willing to be a GM. I think he's smart enough to get it done, too. I like the direction that he moved the Marlins in and the fact that he wanted to win. He left that organization because he wanted to win and they didn't. I think he would make a good GM, honestly. X-Wing says he would love to hear from Cashman. Me too. Tony Mateo says, when they lost the 1997 ALDS, George said, I vow we will win the World Series next year. How is the anti-George? I wasn't aware of that quote. If he really did say that, then, that's typical George. And to be able to put together a team that backs it up, one of the greatest teams ever in 1998. Lori C says, Hal can't be reached from his new yacht. More like his new airplane. The guy flies around 3 miles above us because he's better. He's a better person. He's just a better man than all of us. David Ellis says, I predicted the Yankees would score 1 run in this series. They did that. Well, the series isn't over yet, but you still might be correct. Carlos thinks that Judge is going to the Dodgers, Angels, or Giants. Wouldn't surprise me. Really wouldn't. Honestly, I'm not even sure, despite how good Aaron Judge has been, 52 home runs, I'm not even really sure that's the best use of their money. That was a nice slick play by Peraza there. Let's see the replay. Just nice and smooth. Good, accurate throw. And then Judge, 90-mile-an-hour fastball the other way for a home run. It's getting tough to watch. Teresa's thinks the Giants are the biggest threat. I'd say the Dodgers probably. You know, because they essentially have unlimited funds with that hedge fund that runs their team. I also wouldn't rule out the Mets owner, Cohen. I mean, how much did he pay for a 40-year-old, essentially, Max Scherzer? 40-something million? What's he, like 38, roughly? I don't remember how old he is. And he gave him the highest contract per season ever. You think he wouldn't back up the truck for Aaron Judge? He absolutely would. And Judge knows that. Let's see. Jeffrey Wogel says, Yankees are pathetic. Embarrassing that we had a 15.5 game lead. Now that's down to 4. I'm telling you, it's just, we're just dive bombing into the side of a mountain right now. It's awful to watch. Orlando says, put on some blues and drink some whiskey. I could get next to that. I don't drink anymore. And it's a good thing because if I did, this season would have me turned into Gary Busey by now. Andy says, what free agents are worth getting to turn this team around next year? That's the thing. There's not a lot of great free agents this year. Shohei Ohtani might be available via trade, but there's really not a lot of great free agents to my knowledge. Chucky says, Montas up tomorrow. Probably going to get swept. I have zero faith in Montas. Zero faith. Never pitched a big game in his life. And he's completely folded like a lawn chair since coming to the Yankees. Rob John says, Peraza, great fielder, no hit, 211. That's a dumb comment. First of all, 211, I don't know where you're getting that number from. He hit like 290 something. Actually, he hit 258 overall, but for the last 3 or 4 months, he hit, like, I think he said 291 since the beginning of June. And you can't tell what type of hitter a guy is after one game. Anybody pretending to be able to judge this guy after one game is out of their mind, especially when he hit a rope line drive in his second at bat. Let's take it easy on the kid. This is not on Peraza. He's not here to save this offense. Where's Giancarlo? $25 frickin' million for Josh Donaldson, and the guy's doing absolutely nothing. Nothing. Johnny Smith says he's about to start watching paint dry instead of the Yankees. One Talleyrand says, what candidates can replace Cashman next year? I want Theo Epstein. He's proven he can build winners in modern baseball. That's what we need. Aaron Judge says, this is bad. This is not who they are. What can I say? Appreciate it. Rob is talking about Cabrera. Okay. All right, well, he is a good fielder. I'll give you that. He hit really well in the minor leagues. And yes, he's hitting 211. But again, it's been like a week. It's been like, 10 days. Give him a shot. Let's not jump on these guys. His swing looks good to me. He was red hot about a week ago out west. He was one of the only guys hitting. Francisco says, what caused the nosedive besides always trading more prospects than needed? That's a good question. I'm sure if the Yankees knew what caused the nosedive, they would fix it. I'm sure trading Monty hurt the morale in the clubhouse, but to be honest, they were struggling before that. I want to hear from not only Cashman and Hal, I want to hear from Dylan Lawson. I want to know what the hell's going on. Why can't we get a hitting coach that knows what the hell they're doing? Marcus Timms last year, Dylan Lawson this year. What are these guys teaching? What are they preaching? Teresa says, Devers, Turner, Bogarts, and DeGrom are free agents this offseason. Well, DeGrom's probably going to go back to the Mets. I don't think Devers is a free agent this year. I think he's a free agent next year. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure he's not a free agent until after next season. Turner, I don't think they'll get him. The Yankees have a ton of infield prospects. They're going to stick with Peraza and Volpe. Honestly, they need an outfielder. They need a center fielder. I'm not convinced Harrison Bader is the answer that we need. I'm sure he's a fine defensive player. This team needs offense. Look, it's a whole organizational failure again. They need to audit everything. They put all their eggs in the defense basket this year and just skipped over the offense. And now you're seeing those chickens come home. Chickens come home to roost or whatever. That doesn't make any sense. I'm tired. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. If the Yankees are taking the night off, so am I. I'll see you next time.